Welcome back to Bloggapalooza 2006. My name is Veronica Johnson, and I'm with BlueOhioan. And I'm going to give Anthony a well-deserved rest because he's been going non-stop since 2 o'clock. Anyway, in addition to all the future stars of the blogosphere that you've seen here today, we've had some stellar musical talent who were gracious enough to come out and help us with the cause. And right now I'm with Edwin Jackson of Ghetto Wisdom, and they just brought down the house. So welcome. Thank you for joining me here.
Thank you, Veronica.
First of all, I noticed that you had like a lot of old school vibe going on with this. So for the people who haven't seen you yet, paint a picture of Ghetto Wisdom. Describe your vibe.
Well, the whole motto is poetry soul that will catch your ear and intoxicate your mind. It's a mixture of spoken word poetry with R&B, rock, reggae. It's got a little bit of ska in it. Like I said, it's mainly spoken word, but it's mixed with the R&B, rock, and reggae and hip hop in it. It's a real fusion of different things.
So what inspired you to create Ghetto Wisdom?
The Ghetto Wisdom theme came along. My brother Brandon passed away in June 2000 in the hands of the North Fork Florida Police. And from him dying, I took that as I can either do negative or I can do positive. And I chose to do positive with it, and it came up with the whole thing, the Ghetto Wisdom, the movement.
Now see, it sounds like you have a lot of influences that go into the music. I mean, some little poetry, definitely some old school R&B. Yeah. It seems like you were channeling like a little Gil Scott-Heron or some Last Poets and stuff.
Speaking of all of them poets, I just got signed to a network called Ebony Energy Talent Network.
Really?
It's got Nikki Giovanni on there, the Last Poets are on there, Mos Def's mom, Common is on there. So I'm signed on as a motivational speaker and poet. Like all those people you said, there is probably a little mixture of all those people you just mentioned in our music. But what we have that the other poets don't have is that live band. And we have a Grammy Award-winning guitar player, Mike Calhoun.
Oh yeah.
He's real good. He's the essence of neo soul. My drum player Travis Payton, he's been on BET maybe 3-4 times with Bobby Jones Gospel. My producer who produced both of my albums, he's worked with Lazy Bone from Cleveland, Charlie Grisby from American Idol, and it keeps going on. I got some really talented musicians on my team. Oh
yeah, the band was definitely tight. Have you always been influenced by politics? How did you get interested in it?
It's evident to me that things that go on in my neighborhood and go on in the world, well, what goes on in the world does affect my neighborhood. Because if I keep a blind eye to it, what's happening in my neighborhood is nothing. There's people in Lebanon and other places that are innocent civilians that are getting killed over politics. So it's a must for me to look up and look into the world and see what's going on. Especially at a man my age, I'm only 27. But for me, for Ghetto Wisdom to teach to the others, to the young folks, we need to know what's going on in our world.
Now, I know that in your song Hip Hop, you reference some of the negativity that's going on in what hip hop has become today as opposed to what it was when it began.
Yeah.
Could you maybe elaborate on that?
Well, when hip hop first came out in New York and the Bronx and Brooklyn, it all came from people who were so poor and they were going through so much of a struggle that they couldn't do nothing else but maybe tap on the table or beatbox with their mouth. They didn't own anything else. So the DJs started coming out, and out of that poverty, they needed something to just lift their spirits, just like the slaves did when they sang out in the fields. They needed something to uplift themselves, and that's what they used to uplift themselves. But now it's been so commercialized that hip hop is just like the entertainment. It's sex, drugs, and violence, and that's all it's going to be about. But we want to bring it back to that hip hop that's all about teaching each other and loving each other.
Right. Now, what would you think are the main issues that are facing, let's say, the black community today, and especially the youth?
The black community, the youth, I'd say miseducation. Because I believe that a lot of the black youth that go into school, they're not taught about Marcus Garvey and Nat Turner and poets like Nikki Giovanni and Langston Hughes. We're not really taught that. That's maybe you have an extra multiracial class that is really not, you don't have to take it, but it's there. I believe a lot of those young black youth are just, there's nothing in school for them. They're really not learning about themselves. And I can't sugarcoat it. Because they're not really learning about themselves.
Okay, it's you and George Bush in a room alone. What would you have to say to him?
To George Bush, I'd probably have to say, I don't know. God bless you. Because you got a tough job. There's hard things going on in the world. You got a tough job. But you need to think about the people that are down here in the struggle. And I don't think he's ever really touched ground with the people in the struggle.
Now, earlier I told you I want you to plug. I know you have a website. I know you have a CD out. So I told him to do a shameless plug. Knock yourself out.
Hey, check out Ghetto Wisdom, poetry soul that will catch your ear and intoxicate your mind at www.ghettowisdom.net. You can also get us at www.myspace.com/Ghetto Wisdom. Or remember that Google. You can always get us on that too.
All right, thanks for sitting down with us. Again, Edwin Jackson, and go out and get yourself some Ghetto Wisdom.
Bloggapalooza.